Floodwater has covered these streets in in Sudan's capital Khartoum. Homes were abandoned as water from the Nile filled them, making them uninhabitable. It's the result of a rise in the river's levels, the highest in more than 100 years.
The amount of water was unimaginable. I was at home not expecting the water to reach my house. It reached the house before me, my house and the homes after me. Around my house, more than 40 homes were destroyed by the floods.
People have taken their properties and left their homes. We have houses that have been partially destroyed and houses that have completely collapsed.
In other parts of Khartoum, land that was once dry is now part of the river, which is rising for a third week. It's caused floods that has killed at least 100 people over the past month. More than 100,000 homes have been partially or completely destroyed. A 3-month state of emergency has been announced by the government, and the country is now a natural disaster zone. Where people once walked, boats have become the main form of transport. People mostly use them to get to drier land. This isn't the first time the Nile has flooded its banks, but those affected say it's the worst they've ever seen. Sudan's government says at least 500,000 people have been forced out of their homes as a result of the Nile's unprecedented rise in levels. Experts say a large part of that is because of climate change. Last year, the International Committee for the Red Cross had listed Sudan as one of 10 countries to suffer the consequences of climate change. Climate experts say the increase in rainfall on the Ethiopian highlands is caused by climate change. That's led to more water flowing down the Blue Nile, which contributes to 80% of the Nile's water. That's worrying experts who say development along the Nile is adding to the effects of climate change.
The rains usually come at a certain time and people have been counting on that, and they've moved to areas where the Nile borders the banks. But this year we've seen an increase in the amount of rainfall because of climate change, and so the Nile has flooded more than before. In addition, a lot of trees have been cut down to make place for residential areas near the Nile, affecting the valleys where the water would flow through.
Sudan's government says the levels will continue to rise over the coming days. People say they hope the water doesn't take long to recede, so they can go back to their homes and start the process of rebuilding. Hiba Morgan, Al Jazeera, Khartoum.
Hi, viewers around the world. Good morning to you, good afternoon, good evening, and whatever your local time is. You're welcome to sharing my climate story with Tosin, where we invite eyewitnesses around the world, people who are exposed to the impact of climate change in their communities, to share their stories, how climate change is impacting them, and what that means to their lifestyle, and more importantly, what they are doing about it. Oftentimes when we talk about climate change, people often live in sort of like deny that it's climate change affecting me. But the truth of the matter is that climate change, irrespective of where we live, we're all witnesses of climate change impacts. It comes to us in different ways in our community. In some communities, it's the shrinking of the ice sheet. And in everywhere right now, we feel the global temperature rise and how that is affecting our health, agriculture, and wildlife. And also, we also see it in warming oceans, and in the glacier that is retreating, in sea level rise, in extreme weather conditions that's exacerbating the impact at which extreme rainfall and some of the far and near and far consequences of flooding, displacement, famine, name it. Irrespective of where we live on the planet, we are eyewitnesses of climate change, and climate change impacts us all. So that makes it a very important topic for us to consider and to respond to. And so today we have joining us Marwa Taha, who is the project manager for the Sudan Youth Organization on Climate Change. Marwa Taha is also a lecturer at the University of Bahari in Sudan. And so she will be sharing with us what our climate story is, what are the eyewitness, what did she see in the case of the last flooding of the River Nile and how it has devastated communities in Sudan. Welcome, Marwa Taha. How are you today, mom? Hello, can you hear me, Marwa? Hello, can you hear me?
Hi everyone, good
Yes,
morning. Uh, yes, can you
great.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go on.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Good. So can you?
Okay.
Yeah, I have a question, please. So can you set the context? What are some of the impacts of climate change you see around you?
Yeah, the climate change here in Sudan, recently we have the flood, but if we go back for uh, 20 or 17 years ago, we do have desertifications in Darfur, and also the drought, and also we do have the rain. The rain is the level of rain is reducing every year, so it causes kind of drought. So the nomidos doesn't find grass for their animals, and also the farmer found uh, the normal crops. It doesn't grow very well as normal. So it caused kind of conflict in Darfur, because the Nomidos need the grass for their land. So they used to farm a land to feed their animals, and then the conflict starts in this area in Darfur. And until now, the conflict is not suitable for farmer and nomidos because of the climate change. And now people in Sudan think that the problems in Darfur, it's kind of political problems, but it's kind of climate change. And right now here in Khartoum, and in also in 17 state in Sudan, we are facing a flood and heavy rain. So in past years, we didn't face this kind of floods. More than 500,000 people without shelter, uh, without furniture, without help. They are just in gathering in a small area because of floods, and they need food, they need teenage, they need also medicine because of malaria. And we expected more building maybe fall, because
Mm,
the river Nile level is fluctuated. I visited yesterday many places in Khartoum, and they told me the River Nile is back again. So they expected more house maybe fall. Um, and also they lost their job because they just stay at night to observe the River Nile levels. If it become high, they use plastic bag uh, to prevent river to destroy their house, and they need help from organization, from government. And what it makes me surprised that the neighbors who have a good instructions, because most of houses that fall in the flood made of mud. So
mm,
there are houses made of good instruction with uh, they offer place for their neighbor in their house. So this is
mm, mm,
surprised me, because when I went there, I didn't found people. I asked for people who affect with flood. They told me we offer them
mm,
uh, a room in our house because they are our neighbor.
mm,
So it's kind of uh, good to have that, but it's threatening their life because of coronavirus. When you have small places for people, we still in at the middle of coronavirus. But if you found more people gathering in small places, it's threatening them, and it's uh, raise the coronavirus risk.
mm, mm,
Wow, wow, wow. That's terrible. Like the documentary we watched as um, hi viewers. I so sorry about that. I guess today seem to be having some technological challenge. I I just want to hold on to YouTube to give her a chance to hopefully join us as we go on in this show today. Well, that's what you just heard from Marwa Taha, who is the project manager for the Sudan Youth Organization on the climate change, sharing our perspective about how climate change and its impact has been affecting her, and also how much of damage has been caused, especially in view of the um, flooding of the Nile. Okay, she's right here. Please continue.
Okay. Okay. So right now in Sudan, uh, the flood affect the trees along the bank of the river, and also the buildings. So we expected the biodiversity
Mm,
in among the river Nile may be affected
mm,
with the flood, because there are many animals live in the river, and the flood also affect them, affect the trees. And
mm,
also here in Sudan, people uh, depend on the Nile because they grow their crops just attached with the river Nile. So many lands has been destroyed,
mm,
and we expect maybe we suffer from hunger because of
mm,
this kind of damage of agriculture area just around the river Nile. Places like Marwi, normally a place in the north part of Sudan. Uh, we didn't see that high level of flood. Because people in more than 100 years, they
mm,
even they don't know about the flood. So most of the houses are destroyed, most of the date, because they depend on the date crop for as a commercial crop for their life. And so yeah, this affected. And to add to that, more than 5,900 uh, animals have been died in this flood. And also this add to the crisis, because also people
mm,
here in Sudan, uh, besides their agriculture, they have also goats, camels, and all this have been drifted away by the flood. Um, and right now, as my organization, we went to these places. We expected outbreak of malaria because people right now is just gathering around the area that have a water. We expect
mm,
outbreak of malaria, and unfortunately, the water of the Nile and the drinking water contaminated with the
mm,
broken
mm,
bathrooms in the area, especially in Al Kalakla, and the Kalakla is in it's a place in southern part of Khartoum, and also in Salha. So we find many classroom has been destroyed by the flood,
mm,
and the drinking water is right now contaminated with this sewage water, uh, and and we as we do normally, we give them some advice like you have to put the water in the fire and boiling it
mm, mm,
before to drink it, and use nets to cover your food. um, and we give them some point to help them to prevent them from water diarrhea diseases and also cholera, because we have cholera here in Sudan, and last year uh, we 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 faced outbreak in three states. Uh,
mm,
but right now, the uh, we expected uh, it could be happen here in Khartoum. We don't know, but as to prevent the local people from cholera and malaria, we give them some steps to help them to prevent themselves from this disease and also the coronavirus, and how to stay away from each other.
wow. Thank you so much. I think you're doing some pretty very important and critical work at this point in time. Thank you for
Yeah.
all you're doing. But may I ask you, why are you doing this? What's your personal reason for responding to the welfare of people at this point in time and trying to work on mitigating climate change?
Yeah, because I'm one of this community.
Mm,
I'm from Darfur, from the
mm,
northern part,
mm,
where the conflict
mm,
started in
mm,
2003. Most of my people and my friend are IDPs right now,
mm,
and because I understand very well the problems, so I'm trying to help my community by myself because I'm a specialist in environmental conservation, and I need to transfer that knowledge to my community. So I set up initiative and to with my student at university, and I'm training my student to how to help their community when they go back to their community. Most of students come from cities out of Khartoum because most of good university here in Khartoum. So I train them when they go back to their community to teach their community how to deal with environment, and to understand the concept of climate change, because most of population here in Sudan depend on livelihood and also
mm,
agriculture. So the most of uh, our agriculture land affected with climate change, as you see in the drought and also the flood. So when they go back to their community, they explain them how to
mm,
adapt the climate
mm,
change, the concept of adaptation. So normally here in Sudan, we find the people just grow normal kind of crops. So with
mm,
help of this student, we can change the crop to another one, can adapt the
mm,
climate change, because
mm,
when we went to the agricultural area, the famous one is Al Gadarif. They told us that the productivity of their crop is low, and every year is going low because of the rate of rain, and also the temperature is changed, and sometimes the rain is come late, sometimes
mm.
early. So uh, we we expect them to how to adapt this kind of climate change, and also we speak for people who are living near the places, the valley, like in Darfur, to prevent themselves, because um, in if you go back for 10 or 20 years, it's normal to grow
Mm,
your
mm.
crops near the valley, because the flood is annually and normally have a certain level. So
Okay.
we don't expect it can be high than the previous
Mm,
year. But right now, even I found that in my grandfather farm in northern Darfur, when the valley comes, it just destroy the whole farm. Then and he came to me and asked me the problems. I told them it's better to leave your farm because it's maybe
mm,
become the
mm,
worse.
mm.
So we do our best in a Sudan Youth Organization. We have four branches, the three of them in Darfur.
Okay.
Why we focus on Darfur? Because the most area affected with climate change it is Darfur, and also they affected with conflict, and it is a complicated to
Mm,
have a climate change and also to have a conflict. So
mm,
you have to deal with
mm,
peace and climate change.
mm,
And here
mm,
come our turn as an organization. When you come to IDBs and tell them about the climate change, he normally told you, I need peace, I need safety.
mm, mm,
So we told them the roots of the conflict. The root is of the conflict is
mm,
because of the natural source.
mm,
So we speak to them about this. Okay, the root of the problems is the resource. So the rain is not like the previous the years, and also
mm,
the
mm,
temperature is high, and we speak to them to understand the idea and the concept of the climate change, and after that they understand uh, that the concept of the peace is it
mm,
complicated.
mm,
Uh,
mm,
Sometimes people they couldn't understand the environment. They
mm,
cut down the tree, and then after that come and ask for rain, and they uh, you told them if you don't cut the tree, it's
mm,
better to
mm,
use another
mm,
kind of
mm,
fuel uh, to to, uh, to cook or to grow a tree, another tree, or just the use the dead tree is better than use the green one.
mm,
So it is complicated to work
mm, mm,
in area that affected with conflict climate change.
mm. Wow. You just painted a picture that seemed to me to that there is no sustainable progress without peace, and there's no peace without a sustainable environmental um, situation. And
Yes.
so yeah, and so in order for us to have sustainable development, we need to take care of the environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this you've been doing with your group over the years. I just want to say thank you for all that you do, and I mean it's so important. It's so important. The lives that's been touched, the impact you're making, and what are some of the things that needs to happen to make your job better? What form of support or assistance or do you think you need to make so that you can reach out to more people? Your impact can be greater than what it is right now.
Right now in our organization, we work with we don't have a fund. The
Mm,
fund that we just
mm,
for like kind of sharing from our members. We look
mm,
forward to work with international organization, and also we need support from other local organization. Right now we have like good networking with national organization, but the fund and
mm,
that we have this is just um, not enough for doing projects.
mm,
So our work right now is, as I said before, it's kind of awareness. We do
mm,
awareness, but it have a great impact in community.
mm,
Uh, what we need right now here in Sudan, as a youth organization, we need training for our
mm,
members because most of
mm,
our members lack the knowledge, and
mm,
also we try to help them by training, but they need training, and
mm,
also we need uh, fund and grant for
mm,
uh, project to help people to adapt to climate change, also to reduce the effect of climate change. So what we need in right now in our organization, the collaboration with another or others international organization.
wow. Thank you so much for all that you do. And for the purpose of emphasis, the name of your organization is the Sudan Youth Organization on Climate Change.
Yes.
Where are you found on? Are you on social media? Do you have a website you want to announce?
Yeah, we have a website, Sudan Youth Organization ClimateChange.org, and also we have a Facebook page,
Mm,
Sudan Youth Organization on Climate Change. We
mm,
have a regular web panel because of the coronavirus. We
mhm,
do
mhm,
uh, regular web panels to uh, raise awareness about climate change and also about the other environmental deteriorations,
mm,
disasters, just like floods and
mm,
also drought. We also have we spoke about the dam, the Blue Nile Dam, the new Blue Nile Dam, and the effect
mm,
of the Blue Nile Dam on Sudan.
mhm.
Uh, and also, we have data about the climate change here in Sudan in our Facebook page, and also if you need any data about climate change here in Sudan, you can contact us on. You can find our contacts in the Facebook page.
Thank you so much, Marwa Taha. As the custom of our tradition is on this platform, I know people like you are doing awesomely well around the world, and most of the time you're doing it from the position and the place of need. I mean, you may not have all the resources you need, but what we try to contribute is that to amplify what you're doing, and also to send you some positive um, prayer wishes. And in that sense, I will be reading a poem to you to encourage you in the work that you do. It's called blessing. So I'll read. I said, we give thanks for all those who have moved in their lives to heal and to protect the earth in small ways and in large ways. Blessing on the composters, the gardeners, the breeders of worms and mushroom, the soil builders, those who have cleansed the water and purified the air, and all those who have cleaned up the messes that others have made. Blessing on all those who defend the trees, who plant the trees, who guard the forest, and who renew the forest. Blessing on all those who heal the cities and bring them life again with excitement and creativity and love. Blessing and gratitude to all who stand up against greed, who risk themselves, and to those who have bled and been wounded, and to those who have given their lives in service of the earth and of their people and their community. Thank you so much, Marwa Taha. I hope we have an opportunity of working together in the future areas of collaboration, so that we can all, because we are all on the same planet together. What
Yeah.
befalls one befalls the other, right? So thank you for what you do, and we'll be coming your way again, maybe sometime in the future, to hear about some of the wonderful works you're doing, and how we can, get people to learn more about what you're doing, and more importantly, how people can support your work locally. Thank you.
Thank you very much to uh,
Mm,
give me this opportunity, and also to
mm,
explain our work in our organization,
mm,
and also to share with you our experience, and
mm,
also
mm,
this kind of live show help a lot of people to explain their problems and seeking solution from others.
mm,
Uh, and this kind of collaboration, it's helped a lot, because sometimes you find solution from other people
mm,
whom abroad, and it's kind of exchanging ideas, and also uh, uh, exchanging ideas, and also sharing
mm.
experience.
Okay, thank you. So, hello, viewers around the world. This is another opportunity to hear stories from the front line. Climate change
Yeah,
is not a phenomenon, it is real. Some people live the reality every day. And just as you just heard from Marwa Taha, it is impacting people around the world in more negative ways than it's oftentimes portrayed by the media. And people and leaders in different communities, climate change leaders, earth advocates such as Marwa, they are doing awesomely well. But the work they do, they can do more with the help they can get from individuals around the world. Please, if you got one way or the other, you can help what the organization led by Marwa is doing, and you feel you want to reach out, please reach out to Marwa and the organization. We all on the planet together. We all are part of the web of creation. What befalls one befalls the other. So, thank you for joining us today. I'll be coming your way again next week with another earth advocate and climate change. Please, please take care of yourself, and bye bye.
thank you very much.
Yeah,
Bye.
yeah, bye.